Those current markets are currently listing Elizabeth Warren as a 34% favorite to win that's what she's trading at in the markets. My advice is to short her. She's going to drop over the next 10 days is our prediction. We believe Bernie is trading at about 12%. We believe he will go up over the next 10 days. And Julian Castro is trading at about half of 1%. We expect him to rise because the debate's going to be in Houston. There's a Univision co-component of this. They actually put out a poll related to this that was promoting issues related to various immigration-related issues, which is Castro's calling card. So we anticipate him doing well. So we anticipate Andrew Yang surprising people and being the upset winner of the Drudge poll and the upset winner of the Google search engines tonight. The general predictions are Bernie or Biden or Warren or Harris or Buttigieg. I guess it's Buttigieg. I keep forgetting how to pronounce his name. He's the useless mayor of South Bend. So take it as you will. But we think Yang will be probably the best person. It'll be the surprise winner, the underdog bet.
InfoWars, the most banned network in the world.
Robert Barnes, thank you for being here with us. We'll have live coverage throughout the evening of the big debates coming up. Houston, we have a problem. Clown World Part 3. What is your first approximation, and what do you expect to come out of this? I don't know if you're betting on this evening, but last time you and Owen were just like Karnak the Magnificent. Owen was amazing, too. You predicted exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah, so the different odds that are out there, there's odds in the U.S. I get a lot of inquiries about where people can make money. Just as like the InfoWars store, you can be healthier, wealthier, and help change the world just by buying products that you want and need for a discounted price that are better than the competitor. The same sort of advantage, there have been people that have been following us who have been trading on the predicted market. That's where you can in the United States. They have limits on how much you can bet. But people have been doing it and making money every single time they've been watching the debate coverage between Owen's predictions and my own. So in the UK, we have fans in the UK, fans in Australia, fans around the world. They can actually also bet on the Betfair trading markets and where Paul is in the UK and so forth. And those current markets are currently listing Elizabeth Warren as a 34% favorite to win that's what she's trading at in the markets. My advice is to short her. She's going to drop over the next 10 days is our prediction. We believe Bernie is trading at about 12%. We believe he will go up over the next 10 days. And Julian Castro is trading at about half of 1%. We expect him to rise because the debate's going to be in Houston. There's a Univision co-component of this. They actually put out a poll related to this that was promoting issues related to various immigration-related issues, which is Castro's calling card. So we anticipate him doing well. So we anticipate Andrew Yang surprising people and being the upset winner of the Drudge poll and the upset winner of the Google search engines tonight. The general predictions are Bernie or Biden or Warren or Harris or Buttigieg. I guess it's Buttigieg. I keep forgetting how to pronounce his name. He's the useless mayor of South Bend. So take it as you will. But we think Yang will be probably the best person. It'll be the surprise winner, the underdog bet. That's a good live dog.
You were able to predict Tulsi Gabbard before. You were able to predict what the polls would show. It was just a whole bunch of what were all those predictions? Because I remember it was just uncanny.
So yeah, previously we had predicted Gabbard, Yang, and Marianne Williamson in various debates, winning the Google search engines, winning the Drudge polls. They did. We forecast in the first debate we forecast Harris going up and Biden going down. That happened. After the second round of debates, we predicted Harris going down and Bernie going up. That's exactly what happened. So no matter which bet you took, the Google search debate, the Drudge poll debate, who was going to go up in the betting markets, who was going to go down in the betting markets, we predicted Gabbard would rise in the betting markets after each debate. She did. People made a 50% profit in one night if they made that bet. So it's been a very profitable enterprise. Those who have watched us discuss and forecast what was going to happen in the debates. The big news tonight is, can Kamala Harris bounce back, or is she done for good? Because if she doesn't come out swinging and make another big hit like she did in the first debate, she may be DOA. And can Joe Biden at least pretend he's senile for one night?
Absolutely. Can he hide the senility, the senile dribbling and faux pas and foot in the mouth and the rest of the train wrecks that are Joe Biden? We'll talk more about this straight ahead and then get into this claim that there's white terrorists everywhere. We'll break it all down on the other side. Newswars.com. Tomorrow's news today. Houston, we have a problem. The Democrats and their Chi-Com funders are trying to literally turn Texas into blue, and they're so close to doing it. Don't be arrogant like they were in California. There's a culture war. We've got live coverage that's going on right now with Robert Barnes, constitutional lawyer. He is not just him tooting his horn. He is recognized as the most successful political bettor out there, and he's handicapping this politically for everybody right now. We're going to go back to him in a moment. Then I'm going to hit, again, the attempted race war the globalists are starting. But I need to explain something because I keep remembering this. I need to explain to listeners. I need to, I guess, write this up and do a print out of this because I'm the guy that comes up with the sales and the ideas around here, for better or worse. We've got a bunch of stuff at 50% off right now. We have Ultra 12 that is the strongest, highest quality B12 you're going to find anywhere, twice as strong as Secret 12. That's why we upgraded it and named it Ultra 12 for a base of energy and focus in your body. Take it under the tongue, you get a lot better absorption. Or put it right in water. There's no sweetener in this. It has a sweetness no one's ever tasted. It's got a red color like no other red you've ever seen. This is the same stuff that people inject into their fat that you get as a prescription from a doctor. I'm not saying do that. That's not its use. Don't do it. But this is the highest quality B12 you're going to get out there. I have a prescription for B12. It's even more absorbable when you inject it, but that's the type that I obviously inject. When I forget to do it into my fat, once a week or so on my stomach, I really feel it. Because it's especially Northern Europeans in the genetics are missing some of the genes in their mitochondria to be able to absorb energy into them. I have 100% mitochondrial operation. Very rare. I'm a mutant. I've had 2 tests. Once I had it once, they said, we got to do this again at a big lab here in Austin. They had another lab do it there. It's very rare. But my grandpa had like one of the rarest types of blood. It's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm a mutant. That Northern Europeans are. I mean, we're all mutants at one level or not. But Ultra 12, B12, and this complex that it's in for absorption is something Northern Europeans particularly need, but everybody needs it. Ultra 12, 50% off. Bodies, 50% off. We've got Super Male Vitality, 50% off with a free bottle of Ultimate Female Force that's just amazing. We're mainly a male audience, but women, you really should get it. So men, get this for yourself and give it to your wife or girlfriend. Believe me, you'll thank yourself and you'll thank me, and you're funding the InfoWar. So enough about that. There's a bunch of other stuff at 50% off right now. Brain Force Plus with the Chill Force. That's a new product. Those are together, 50% off when you get them. A lot of their specials. All right, Barnes, continuing with Biden. Biden, Warren to share the stage for the first time at U.S. Democratic presidential debate. All eyes are on that.
So, yeah, so there's my forecast is that Biden will go after Warren. Biden has been bitter ever since Harris took after him. That bitterness has risen and intensified over the several months since then as the media has taken various pot shots at him, made fun of some of his senility, made fun of his verbal twist and gaffes, made fun of his doubted and questioned his electability, and in particularly challenged and contested his entire legacy in the new wokeness era. And the consequence of that is going to be that Biden, we saw it and we predicted it before the last debate. We said he's going to start attacking people. Remember, he went after Booker on something that was like 6 years old that had marginal relevance, but it was just him. He went after de Blasio at the very end. So he was going after people with marginal roles, marginal places in the debate structure, just to send a message that if people attacked him, he was going to start attacking everybody and exposing all of their weaknesses. And one of the recent polling surveys out of the Atlantic has shown, that was done by a leftist group, showed that Democratic voters are obsessed with electability because they recognize Trump's strength. And they're so scared of Trump's strength, they want someone who can beat him. And the number one thing they're worried about is whether that person will come across as having character. So that's why Biden is attacking specifically on issues of character and integrity and identity. And so look for him to attack Elizabeth Warren tonight and raise what she's been trying to hide, which is her long involvement as a corporate lawyer in the bankruptcy arena, helping people scavenge and savagely attack various assets of domestic corporations.
She's Mitt Romney.
Exactly. She's Mitt Romney times 2. She helped deny breast implant victims where they actually suffered various diseases and cancer and other problems related to it, to various production and design makers who then went into bankruptcy. She helped protect them from having to pay what they were due to pay under various settlements and judgments. She helped various companies take apart small businesses and destroy them. She helped big Wall Street and corporate America basically devalue and demolish large parts of industrial America, deny pension benefits, deny workers' benefits, deny victims of fraud, deny victims of medical devices that caused harm, severe harm in many instances, severe harm specifically to women in particular instances. So it goes right to the core of everything she claims she's against. Claims she's against Wall Street, claims she's against corporate fraud, claims she's against corporate power, claims she's against institutional control, was bragging yesterday about CNBC saying Wall Street doesn't want her as a president. And so I think Biden will go right to the heart of that, go right to attack the core of her credibility and character.
And by the way, he's warned them, and I don't like Biden, but I mean, they're even worse than him in many cases. He's warned them. He said, listen, honey, and listen, kid, I can tear the hell out of you guys if I want. And he can. He can go after Harris, you know, and her whole background, like viciously locking blacks up would triple the time like Hillary did. Of course, he was involved in that too. He can go after her and her, you know, great-grandpa being the militia that killed all the Native Americans in Oklahoma. I mean, that's what the left is. They tell you what you want to hear, that they're your advocate. But if they're black, their advocacy is to enslave you. And that's why they look like you. They've been hired to do it. With Warren, she loves Native Americans. It's all lies. She loves women. Yeah, she loves to, you know, have breast implant deals with the breast implants are killing women. She makes sure you don't get the money. She's a corporate raider. It's why the system loves her. Oh, she's going to stop big tech censorship by giving them legislation to protect them and let them censor. Everything you hear from her is the opposite. She is a psychotic weasel. She is a sociopath bare minimum who goes, oh, I'm going to have a beer. Want a beer? No, honey, don't drink beer. Oh, I'm here drinking beer. She's like an alien pretending she's human.
Oh, no doubt about it. Very fake at the very core. And that's what he's going to be attacking. So even though he'll be talking about corporate issues and other lawyer issues, she even put out a report where she tried to disguise, she tried to pretend that she helped victims of breast implants get money when she was out to deny, when she was getting paid to keep them from them getting paid.
And again, it turns out people from Texas and Oklahoma, almost everyone who had family that came here, anywhere from the 1820s to the I mean, most people, women tended to die on the frontier.
Right.
And so, so you know, both sides of my family, people married, their second wife was Native American. Right. And there actually wasn't as discriminatory as you hear in all the media. It's all, depending on what tribe you were in, and the natives were always trying to get you to attack the other tribe, and it was all this going back and forth. But Comanche, you know, all those groups. And again, for her to basically have zero Native American and be from Oklahoma, I mean, that must have meant they were really didn't like the, quote, Redskins. I mean, because almost everybody in Oklahoma is part Native American.
Her ancestors got awards for their devastating, vicious, violent assaults and attacks on various
My great-grandmother was named, her first name was Moon, right? And she was almost completely Native American. Right. Now, and my dad's, you know, grandfather married her and loved her. So, and my dad went to Native events. He didn't want to brag about it, but my dad's been there when they're the real deal. Not like you go to some fake Indian reservation and buy plastic tomahawks and some, you know, some Mexicans dance around a fire in front of you.
Right.
But again, I never even play that card.
Right. Well, I mean, my Indian law professor at Wisconsin, first thing he taught me was, he said the #1 thing Native Americans have to watch out for is Indian-loving liberals. He goes, that they're the most dangerous of them all. He said they'll come dancing across your, you know, if they want to discover what my father thinks, his longtime Native American father, believes is 100% Native American of his tribe, thinks about property rights and gun rights, they can just sort of, and thinks he's just sort of, you know, dancing to the sky. Why don't you just cross his lawn late at night and you'll find out what he thinks about both property rights and gun rights. So the idea here, she comes from an Indian-hating community, an Indian-hating family, and yet she was pretending to be Native American.
It's just perfect chameleon garbage.
Absolutely. Just like she says, I'm deeply anti-corporate, yet she spent her life as a corporate lawyer in bankruptcy denying ordinary people benefits. She says she hates banks. Bankruptcy court is mainly designed so that banks win before everyone else, and that's who she helped win.
Well, I'll just be honest. I've looked, because my family's in the history books. We slaughtered tons of Native Americans. By the way, with Native Americans right beside us demanding we do it. I mean, you study what really went on. It was just, it was constant war with everybody.
And the most peace-oriented tribes got wiped out mostly by other more hostile tribes.
Yeah,
that's just a long history. That's why there's more Sioux around and Seminole around
and Comanche. I mean, my bloodline's the most vicious group there was.
The only group that really survived from a Native American tribal perspective that was not that violent was the Cherokee, and that's because they had such a large swath of land.
And they had political power. I mean, yes. They knew how to actually.
They developed language. They developed democracy. They were ahead of the curve across the board. They were one of the most enlightenment.
They were able to make better deals with the white man.
Absolutely, they were. John Ross. John Ross's home is right near my old. About 2 minutes from my hometown and where my home was in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
It's amazing. And then you got Oklahoma with Quanah Parker and all that stuff.
Exactly. Great history. But Elizabeth Warren was not part of the great part of that history. And yet she's lying about it. Why? Just the same reason she's lying about being a corporate lawyer, a bank lawyer, a Wall Street.
Well, it's amazing. You can go to family cemeteries we've got. most of the land isn't ours anymore, but they let us go on these ranches and stuff. And like a third of the tombstones are killed by Indians.
Yeah.
I mean, this was not, this was not like people playing patty cake here.
No.
We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. On the other side, we're going to get into them trying to start a race war. Stay with us. 50,000 unstoppable watts. Woo! It's Clown World 2019. We're just living in it. We're going to have our crack reporter teams of Millie Weaver and Caitlin Bennett on the ground in H-Town. We're reporting from just north of the leftist cesspool, from our own leftist cesspool, Austin. Once a great place. Now literally fed with homeless and heroin needles and gun grabbing. But it's okay. We're fighting for the state here, Alamo Part 2, but this time against leftist, drooling, trendy white people mainly. Robert Barnes, let's finish up with your handicapping of the coverage tonight. You'll be here live during it all. Infowars.com/show. Band.video. In the next hour, it's going to have a big player right up top. Band.video won't get censored as much on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. So you can just send it out because they haven't put it on the blacklist yet. They'll run and do it. But Band.video, Summit.news isn't our site, but Paul runs it. President Trump tweeted that yesterday. So a lot of exciting things happening when you take action. So we love you and appreciate you. We're in this fight together. Band.video. Finish up handicapping, then we'll hit all the news.
Sure. So so I think tonight people are looking for whether Harris can survive or whether she's DOA. They're looking for Biden to attack Warren and whether Biden will continue his, hey, if you try to destroy my legacy, I'm just going to burn the whole house down, which has basically been his approach. I mean, I think the Democratic establishment is going to greatly regret coercing Biden to run when there was a lot of evidence he did, as you reported, that he did not want to run, that he was not interested in running, that he had moved on and moved past that stage of his career and his life, just wanted to live out his Grandpa Joe.
I mean, he's one step from a wheelchair already.
Absolutely, and I think he knew that, knows that, and he's exposing himself to the world. I don't think he minds the health hits as much as he minds the legacy hits. He wanted to be just nice old Grandpa Joe and the Democratic.
The legacy now is the guy that's fallen on his face.
Exactly, and he's becoming the source, the centerpiece for the woke world to indict, to say everything that's wrong is this old white man.
He's the old white man pinata.
Exactly, and he doesn't like being the old white man pinata, so he's going to take it out on every single other Democrat.
Which is going to be beautiful.
It'll be absolutely gorgeous to watch.
You know he's got a list of attacks.
Oh, absolutely. It's literally he's got the kerosene, he's got the lighter, and he's just going to light it. Watch the whole house burn up. Says, you want to burn me down? Fine, I burn all you down. So it's fine by us.
So your prediction is it's going to be a bloodbath, a firestorm tonight.
Exactly, and it's because in order for him to survive, he's got to just start torching everybody. And at a minimum, I think at this point he no longer cares. I think he just wants to have payback and punishment for everybody trying to take him out.
And he's going to call it transparency.
Exactly. So yeah, exactly. If you can get that word out, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that works, his verbiage works, whether he will continue to self-destruct of his senile tour of 2019. So it'll be interesting. Bernie, this is the first time they're all on the stage together. Bernie doesn't like to talk about anything other than issues. The over-under on Bernie is to raise his hands and do this bit at least 3 times.
Well, he does that, you know. I swindle schools. First paycheck I got was 40. I run things now. Do you understand? Huh.
This is a guy who's never had a blue-collar job in his life that he could sustain. I mean, he was a terrible carpenter. He wasn't a good worker. The government paycheck has been his only key to life. That's why he thinks the government paycheck is the key to
He
everyone
knows
else's
how
life.
to tell you what to do.
Exactly. So and he's been running from his immigration position that he held in 2015 when he said open borders was dangerous.
That was the only thing ever reasonable because it'll bankrupt things.
Exactly. He's running away from his long legacy in opposition to gun control as fast as he can. So it's an embarrassment watching him embrace the woke world because he's dependent upon his millennial base, like sort of a mid-level communist who has to appease the Stalinists within the party. So it'll be interesting to see how much he further trends in that direction and strays in that direction. The fun people are all not on the stage other than Yang. Yang has promised to do something no Democratic nominee has ever done or Democratic candidate has ever done. Who knows what that means? Maybe he's going to wear a big gold chain. Maybe he's going to make another Asian math joke. But we'll see. So the
Asian what?
Yeah. So he loves to tell Asian math jokes. You know, I'm Asian, I like math. That scares Donald Trump. He likes to do this sort of things. I don't think Donald Trump is scared of that at all.
Donald Trump just wants to build hotels in Asian countries.
Exactly.
We're going to be right back with a bunch of news. Trump to fly banner over Houston ahead of Democratic debate. Socialism will kill Houston's economy. I like how Trump's taking a page when we put up the Trump Air Force. Remember that? Back when we had the cash to do stuff like that? Infowarsstore.com, folks. We'll fight hard for you. All right, Robert Barnes is our guest. I want to get into right-wingers are America's deadliest terrorists. And white people are terrorists. We're going to look at those fake numbers, look what the FBI is really doing here in a moment. But first, with Robert Barnes, riding shotgun with me. We're here live right through tonight, past 11 p.m. We've been live since David Knight kicked off this morning at 8 a.m. with the David Knight Show, right through the War Room, right through Firepower. Will Johnson will be co-hosting with us tonight with Tom Pappert as well, but obviously the coverage of his regular show is preempted. It'll be Firepower with all these great guests, all these great hosts, and we're going to have live coverage of the Houston debates that the others were, again, spectacular, promising all these goodies, spectacular white people are evil devils from white people, spectacular lies. And so it was so horrible, it was interesting, but still frightening to know that this is really what they admit they are. Well, tonight, though, the knives are out, and I think we're going to see the house burn down, as Robert Barnes, which is saying when they attack Biden. So I'm not just hyping this to get you to tune in. I think tonight's going to be spectacular. I'm excited. We've got reporters on the ground. And last time I thought it'd be super boring, but they'd offer a bunch of free stuff. And it was so depressing, I had to leave both times, or I was going to say really nasty things on air. We'll see what happens tonight, but I walked off the coverage, and I have trouble watching these people, but we have to because they want to run our lives. Tonight, though, I think you're right. It's going to be a bloodbath. What do you think?
I mean, you have three candidates that have three major problems. Biden can't get any young people to like him within the Democratic Party. Bernie can't get any old people to like him within the Democratic Party, and Warren can't get any black people to like her in the Democratic Party primary process. So if they can't overcome those hurdles, it's hard to see how any of the three somehow win. It will almost be, there's increasing predictions today from Sean Trendy at Real Clear Politics, an old buddy of mine from Yale, that there's going to be a contested convention for the first time in the modern primary era since 1972. So and of course, 1972 did not go well for the Democratic Party. So we may see a fascinating brokered convention. And then who do they steal it from? Do they steal it from Indian Elizabeth Warren? Do they steal it again from old man Bernie? Do they steal it from old man Joe, from creepy Uncle Joe? Who do they steal it from?
And here's the wild card. This has even come out on Frontline. We saw the documents decades ago. Even Frontline, there's some documentaries about Nixon wanted to bomb his own convention and blame it on the Democrats till they explained, sir, your numbers are great. Then there were plans to bomb their convention to make them look like commies. Then the left, it turned out, there were some plans to stage attacks and blame it on Nixon. So this is something that goes on. So let's be clear. Are they going to stage a mass shooting on themselves? We know they've done it before. Some of the shootings are real. But all the studies, just type in, studies show media giving attention to mass shootings triggers them, because now it's an option for schizophrenics and nuts. Instead of killing themselves as I'm going to go out and do this in a blaze of glory. So they're hyping all the mass shootings, hoping something like that happens. And they're telling us attacks on the media, attacks by the right wing are epidemic. They're happening any minute. That begs the question, are they trying to provocateur it? Or are they knowing something that we don't know, Robert Barnes?
Well, think about who might stage such a provocation, who has a history of unique political involvement around the world, who might want to come in as the white horse to save the day when they can't decide between Bernie, Biden, or Warren, because they all have huge institutional flaws, who might want to ride in on the white horse, best done by staging violence outside the proceedings that can come in and save the Democratic Party from itself and get reappointed to the presidency that she believes she's rightfully entitled to. That yesterday she was in front of a fake Oval Office desk, pretending to actually read emails of all things, pretending to be president. Who is it that would greatly benefit from a brokered convention? Who is it that would desire a brokered convention? Who would love to have sort of Antifa? Well, remember, in fact, we've seen previews for fake provocations like this, or staged provocations. And staged just doesn't mean that the provocation itself isn't occurring.
They create the climate.
Exactly.
Like Charlottesville. They're saying I said the government killed the girl who had the heart attack or whatever. No, I'm saying the police stand down. They hire a bunch of fake right-wingers we know work for the left, most of them. Some real racist idiots show up. You bring out the Antifa scum, and they have a huge conflagration. The police march them into each other, hoping somebody got killed, and then blame Trump. And then they sued me, saying that I'm saying that this dude did it himself. And then they say in my name the defamation against themselves.
Right, exactly. And what's amazing about all of that is the way I always describe it to people is this. If you want to understand what it means to say an event is staged, just look at how the media covers Putin. and Russia. So there they'll say, this is staged, this is staged. He's orchestrated.
Oh, Islamics blew up a building. Putin did it. Just to meet a Putin. Yeah.
Exactly.
But then we say, hey, did somebody stand the game for this? Shut up, you evil person.
Perfect example of this, 2016. The way in which someone like Hillary might do this was what the mayor of Chicago, longtime Clinton ally at the time, remember they staged, when Trump was supposed to come in, they staged a bunch of Bernie people creating a huge brawl, purportedly Bernie people, even though Bernie people up to that point had no history of being violent. Antifa had, but Bernie people didn't. People purportedly being for Bernie went in and staged a bunch of violence against Trump.
That was Hillary. It came out in WikiLeaks.
Exactly.
And we said at the time it was Hillary. I said, looks like Hillary. She stands to gain. It was.
And it was perfectly set up because the narrative coming out to the press was Bernie people are crazy and dangerous. Trump people are crazy and dangerous. Who's the solution? Oh, Hillary is. So you could see the same sort of dynamic occur again. If you start to see that happen, if there is a brokered convention and you start to see those kind of events take place, you should be reasonably
and again, I want to be clear. Exactly. I don't make this stuff up. I know people that have guarded Hillary off and on for years. I'm going to leave it at that. Not just Secret Service, but that too. They're the ones that told us she drives around in a black ambulance. She's falling down every 45 minutes. Just follow her. Well, people did. They caught it. We caught it when she was in a tent. But others caught it in New York on September 11th a few years ago, 3 years ago. 3 years ago yesterday. And so that's really what this comes down to. And the same people are like, no, she's on the phone. She's in there running the Democratic Party. Her foundation's still getting money. And they all still kiss her ass because she's in control with Obama of the stay-behind networks and all the Democratic bureaucrats that they put in. And basically the Bush people just advocated to her, let her still kind of run it. So Hillary is still kind of the shadow president. Kind of like in England, they'll have the main person of the exchequer, but they'll have the shadow person that's for the party out of power, but still has some power. That's how they're operating the shadow government, the deep state. Is Hillary still bumbling around? She's still got all her people in with national security clearances doing this, and she still thinks that this is such a weak field that maybe she slips in, then Trump gets assassinated or something. Believe me, this woman runs around pretending to be the president all over TV shows, all over the media. She was doing it again yesterday.
Exactly. Why is she doing that staged photo yesterday? Or look at a Politico article.
And look how psychotic she is. Can we blow that up?
Yeah, exactly.
They'll say I meant blow her up. I don't mean that. I mean zoom in on it. Can we zoom in for TV viewers on her? I mean, she looks like an animatronic robot at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, yes, she does. I mean, it's not she still doesn't understand photo ops. But that's what Trump was laughing about in 2016. He said, all these people that attack me, they always get these great photos of me. He's like, I have to go get those photos because how good they are. But if you look at it, the other thing is look at a Politico article, and Politico is sort of the insider publication in D.C. for the political consulting class just a few days ago, where Hillary was taking credit for the Warren campaign. They said Warren's getting her advice from Hillary. Hillary's helped, almost like a Henry Kissinger kind of piece. And so it was almost a message that she's setting something up so that there'll be one woman, Warren, two guys, Bernie and Biden. Warren won't be able to get over the top. She comes in and says the only real way to protect women's rights is to nominate Hillary as the peace candidate between all of the different contingencies and constituencies within the Democratic Party.
Look at the look on her face.
Exactly.
The entitlement, the mental illness.
Yeah, precisely. And that's the person that's the most dangerous, is someone that's obsessed with power and disconnected from reality. And she has still disproportionate institutional influence because the Clintons did such a great job at decimating the Democratic base that you will see tonight three leading candidates, Biden, Bernie, and Warren, who cannot get any appeal from a big wing of the Democratic Party.
And it's like a power cult. I mean, I've been around Democrats and I've watched the videos. They worship her.
Oh, yes, yes. They worship her and fear her and obsess over her at the same time.
You know, my ex-wife's mom is a big Democrat. I mean, Jimmy Carter's, come over for dinner before. And they, like 10 years ago, they were at an event with Hillary and Bill, and they said, what do you think of Alex Jones? And they thought they meant Alex S. Jones of the New York Times. She said, oh, he's a very important, wonderful person. They all had heart attacks, couldn't believe it, and we're all groveling. And I said, she means Alex S. Jones. They called her later and found out it was true. We're like, oh, good, because we hate you. But it's hilarious how much they worship this woman. We'll be right back. This is important. I'm 45 years old. When I was 35, I swam up to 2 miles a day sometimes and would jog and couldn't lose weight because I didn't have the missing links. I was deficient in things that nobody ever told me I was deficient in. I knew all about the private Federal Reserve, the Trilateral Commission, the New World Order, Jeffrey Epstein and the pedophile rings. I knew all about geopolitical systems and the old Soviet Union and how the globals put the Chi-Coms in. But I didn't know about PQQ. I didn't know about CoQ10. I didn't know about all this. And I didn't know about clean iodine. And yeah, I want to fund my operation. I want you to get products that have changed my life and changed so many other people's lives, that have 98% reviews, and then experience that I'm not BSing you. So that for some of you, maybe in the first time in your life, you're going to experience somebody that treats you like they want to be treated. Let me tell you something right now. You see DNA Force? I went out to top manufacturers, they're the most respected, most highly tested, and I said, I want the strongest PQQ, CoQ10 overall formula that has pure, non-synthetic stuff in it that's ever been put on the market. And they said, well, that's like a $22 each bottle. I said, I want to put $50 a bottle in it. They said, nobody's ever done that. Then I signed a contract to double the amount I was going to buy. I got it down to $30-something a bottle for what it cost me to make this. Nobody does that. Ladies and gentlemen, you read what's in this and you research every ingredient in this, and then you experience it for yourself. It's incredible.
InfoWars presents The David Knight Show, The Alex Jones Show, and The War Room with Owen Schroyer. Infowars.com/show.
Well, today, InfoWars Life Protein Bar. I just devoured your cousin. InfoWars Life Protein Bar. They taste like candy bars. This is what I want. This is what I need. But my God, there's no fillers. But my God, it's solid. Protein bar, highest quality. 12 bars, highest quality. Now you can bite into it easily, but you're going to be like, what in the world's going on here? Well, today, InfoWars Life Protein Bar. I just devoured your cousin. InfoWars Life Protein Bar. Delicious vanilla. Delicious vanilla. Delicious vanilla. Meet my tummy.
Alex,
Yes.
I got a plug for the Patriot points I get.
Oh, thanks.
I've gotten $180 so far this year in Patriot Point, and I feel like I'm stealing from you. I buy so much in the store because, I mean, I don't want to give that money to Walmart. I don't want to give that money to people who are going to donate it to causes I don't believe in, so I'd rather give that money to you. And I'm getting quality product. The products that I do receive have changed my life. I mean, the X2 has really done a lot for me. I've lost weight. My brain works a whole lot better. My kids, they use the toothpaste. My son used to get these little sore throats, and he puts X2 in water and drinks it, and it gets rid of his sore throat.
Well, sir, let me break this down for you. I've never really done marketing, but I did bring in a few advertising people a few years ago who knew how to advertise online, and they said, Mr. Jones, they said, what's your markup? And I said 150%, but we always discount 25%, so that's 100%. And they said, yeah, and then you're always discounting 20, 30%, and then we notice you only sell stuff when it's at 50%, and then you're barely making any money. You need to stop that. And they looked at our data, and they said, oh, your audience would buy it if it was even more. And I said, I want high-quality stuff in there. I want a good price. But I've kind of habituated everybody, trained everybody, myself done this, to where everybody buys when it's 50% off. I'm making $2 on the toothpaste at 50% off because there's no fillers, it's concentrated, it's got iodine, a little silver. And so it's the same thing with like the fish oil or the turmeric or the bone broth. I mean, DNA Force, I signed a multi-year contract on that. So I was able to cut the price about 40% of what we were paying. It's still got $30-something of product in it. I mean, you talk about cleaning your cells out, you talk about energy, stamina, you talk about letting the telomeres last longer. This is patented to do that, and nobody puts this much of the real organic stuff in it. So yes, DNA Force is amazing. Thank you so much for the plugs. But listen, when people get the Patriot points, a lot of times it makes things a loss leader, because if you're already getting 10% off because you're on auto ship, and then we're doing 50% off, and then you do something like that where you have Patriot points, we lose money, but that's okay. So thanks for the support.